Hi everyone, my name is Tone Gilje. I live in Norway and I'm a continuum teacher, amongst other things.
And my name is Volker Moritz, and I'm living partly in Amsterdam, in the city, and partly in the mountains of Switzerland. Actually, Schwalbenalb, the place where we are going to hold our retreat, the Healing Darkness, which we do already since 2014 now. So, and we always do it in the time where it's not yet going into spring, where it's really a time still to go inwards to discover what is there inside of us.
It's a beautiful place and a healing place, and just to be there in the nature. And it has a really good facility for doing what we have set out to do. They accommodate in a very beautiful way, and so that's why we chose to be there with our event.
And it's a 10-day event, so it's quite a long time that we are going together, actually going into the darkness. So we darken the room, we develop these sequences of continuum, making specific sounds, specific breath, specific movements, and then letting our body taking over. So really finding its own rhythm in order to drop into ourselves. And then eventually we darken the room. There's food outside. We can stay in the room to sleep there, to practice there. And in that way, really having this wonderful container like a gestation chamber. So where something get birthed. And we ourselves never know what it is. Like there are certain aspects, certain elements that come back. But it's always this adventure, what will happen.
Yeah, and it's also the people that come is a part of creating this container that we are allowed to be in during that time. And of course, to begin with, we make sure that everybody's comfortable and not that there's not too much anxiety around what we are going to do. So we take time and get to know each other, get to know what we are going to do, and then the question is, so why are we doing this? I mean, really, how did it come about that we wanted to have this kind of happening going on?
I think it really started when the two of us met in this um, mystery school retreats of Emily Conrad, one of the founders of Continuum. And I think it was in Denmark
It was in
when
Denmark.
we were together. And it was really that we had this deep thing happening. Everybody was in their processes, but it was in the middle of the night where most of the people were sleeping from what we could hear of the sounds in the room. And I remember that the two of us were somehow sitting there and having really this connection with a star system out there and feeling this energy coming in. And afterwards, after the retreat, we talked and said, we have to continue doing this.
Yes.
The quality of this is so deep. So we really wanted for ourselves to
Mm.
have the possibility to drop in that way, to have this container where this is possible.
Yeah, and there was the offering at that time was not, I felt anyway, it wasn't long enough time.
Mhm.
Um, we had like 6 or 7 days, and I felt I really needed for myself also to have a longer stretch that I could really rest into the unknown of this body that I'm living in and through and with. Um, so taking away some of the ordinary structures and the timing and what we have to do during our everyday life, and see when we take that away, like, oh, I have to get up at this certain time, go to work at that time, and then there's dinner at this time, and we take away the the timing of everything and see how can my organism and then start to unfold in a way and resonate in a way that don't really know yet,
Mhm.
and see where can I heal some of my wounds in this way.
I mean, I think that's the fascinating thing of this work is at the moment we are dropping onto that level, things appear that we don't even know that are there. Like I remember I did this one movement where it was like a circle movement with the arm, like very simple somehow. So
Mm,
in the slowing down, like a movement that is just normally whatever 2 minutes, it I don't know if it was an hour or because it's a timeless space, but there was this long, long movement. And I could feel how this movement was connected with a spiral actually of my um, pelvis somehow. And then I felt something in my foot, which was connected with a trauma I had as a child, where
mm,
a group of young people chased me. So I felt how the trust was somehow broken, like the trust in the world, just to this small moment of fear somehow. And in this more movement, I could feel it and get a kind of repair of it. So, and that's the thing, how somehow the information comes through the movement and through the time and through the stillness, that something then can what's the word? Um, restructure itself somehow.
mm.
What kind of
Yeah.
experience did you have of in this depth?
I had a really quite many, but there's one that sticks out for me. Uh, and it was when I was going to demonstrate, because in being a continuum teacher, you have to sometimes demonstrate what you want people to do, show them how it can look, how it can be. So I was on my side, and I can't really remember what I did, but I was working on my side, and suddenly I felt like I was a peanut in a shell, like two peanuts, like how it looks.
Mhm.
And I had to laugh because it was so funny how it felt. And then it changed, and I realized that this was the um, what do you call it? Not the DNA, but um, what makes up the DNA. The our yeah. Now I can't even remember what it's called. You see, um, where our
Mitochondria.
no, it's not the mitochondria. It's the not the enzymes, but the herregud, går det an? Well, anyway, I changed into something, and it made me so interested, and I was chasing Volker to have him tell me. I was chasing you, I had to know what this was about, I got really fixed on that, and I realized that this um, uh, we get this from our mother and from our father, and it's how we become the inheritance material, you know, in this, and they turn out to become the part of the DNA. I figured, after like searching, it was like something was dropped on me, and it made really sense after, working with it through that time.
Yeah. I remember also when we were working in the dark, and like often when we develop the program, it's already when we meet and we travel there to Switzerland, we start talking, and then there are certain situations that come in, just things that we see, things that we observe, and they really make the material that we are working with. So like the universe is showing us always already the signs with what we are going to work. So I remember there was this whole thing about weaving and how the body actually is coming into creation, also what you are saying, but really through really weaving, having this network, how everything is woven, wrapped,
Mm.
um,
Spiraled.
spiraled, and then
Mm.
going into that and really understanding it, what it means, like how ancient cultures used handcraft, handwork, for example, to re-embody these kind of things and to really understand it.
Mm.
But it only happens at the moment we really drop into our body that we can then understand it. Because even now
Yes.
talking about it is already conceptual,
Mm.
but at the moment we are doing it, we can feel it and understand it somehow.
Yeah, it is in a way becoming something else
Mhm.
and starting to feel what that feels like and what kind of resources are there for me in my being and in my life. Um, so and in ancient times, they used to take people into the dark to find out what is the cure for this sickness or this malignant whatever people had and so it's really interesting to take the light away to see what can start to light up in us.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like connecting with the Asclepian temples, with the pyramids, with all these cultures that have this deep sense of it. Yeah.
Mm.
I thought to show a little picture actually. Look what I've got here. So we're also going to work with symbols. Here we can see the Ouroboros, like the serpent that's swallowing its tail. And that's one of the things that eventually we're also going to work with. So one thing is really to loosen up the body, getting the stress and whatever stories there are in the body, getting that out of the system somehow. And then embodying these kind of symbols again in order to understand it in a different way.
Mm.
Because somehow they're like this reminiscence of something, like we can see them on buildings or on whatever stones or
Mm.
in our dreams or whatever, and to understand what do they have to, what are they transmitting actually. So it's interesting to take them into our body, embodying them in very specific ways, and then they start to become alive and tell us something also.
Yeah, and in our culture, I think we have separated ourselves from that knowledge or that wisdom that is there, and it is about taking back what is there and building a bridge between the outside and the inside world, that it's not just something we cherish and value on the outside, but it's actually a living process that I can embody and that can be a part of me.
So we thought it's really, we make this little video just that you get a feeling already who we are, what we are doing, some of these questions that we get all the time about why are we doing this, and hope to see you soon in Switzerland.
Yes,
Yes.
see you there.
See you there. Bye bye.
Bye.